Hello everyone, thank you for joining our webinar on capturing volatility related to the Minneapolis Grain Exchange's hard red spring wheat contract and OptionsCity's electronic trading via Metro. Again, thank you all for attending. We encourage you to check out the company's website and also our disclaimers as it relates to this presentation, both the Minneapolis Grain Exchange and OptionsCity Software. I'd like to turn it over to and thank Joe Albrecht from the Minneapolis Grain Exchange. He's the Vice President of Business Development there. At this time, I'll let him kick off his slides and talk about the hard red spring wheat contract on the exchange. And again, we're very appreciative for the Minneapolis Grain Exchange partnering with us, and it's been a pleasure working with Joe, and we look forward to his presentation here.
Okay, great. Thanks a lot, Loren. I appreciate that intro, and again, thanks for everyone for taking time out today to attend the webinar. So let's just kind of dive right into here, I guess. The Minneapolis Grain Exchange, or MGEX, is a designated contract market and derivatives clearing organization. We've been providing risk management products and services to the derivatives industry for over 130 years. Our hard red spring wheat futures and options contract represents North American hard red spring wheat crop. We also list an apple juice concentrate futures and options contract, as well as 5 agricultural contracts which are financially settled and represent national cash averages for corn, soybeans, and each of the 3 wheats. All MGEX products are available for trade on CME GLOBEX, specifically hard red spring wheat futures, the apple juice concentrate futures and options, the 5 financially settled index futures and options, all trade electronically. Hard red spring wheat options continue to trade side by side. MGEX is a 402 membership, member-owned, for-profit corporation. Our last sale was at $195,000, and current bid ask is $182, and ask at $205. So as we jump to the next slide here, just thought we'd take a look at where the 3 U.S. exchange-traded wheats are grown. First off, hard red spring wheat. As you can see in the slide, hard red spring wheat in the U.S. is produced primarily in the northern plains. You can see northwestern Minnesota, North Dakota, northeast South Dakota, Montana, Idaho, and off into the Washington and Oregon areas. Pretty much the northern tier of states adjacent to Canada. And on the next slide, more specifically in Canada, you'll see the Canadian Prairies right there in the center, in the provinces of Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba. They make up the spring wheat growing region north of the border. And as you can see, they are primarily the southern halves of each province. Next slide, and again, we'll probably, we might be aware of this already, but the 2 winter wheats are grown more in the middle of the U.S. Hard red winter in the Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas, and up into Montana area. Soft red is grown in Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, Missouri, Arkansas, and down the Mississippi River Valley. Next slide is a little bit about the production elements. Now, basically, that we've seen where hard red spring wheat is grown. I want to just take a look at some stats which might be new to you. And the information for this slide and the next, they're both for the 2013 crop year, and data is provided by the USDA Stats Canada. And what you're looking at, these numbers stay pretty stable year over year. And what you'll see in this slide here on the production is the prominence of hard red spring wheat in North American wheat production figures. In 2013, hard red spring wheat represented 42% of North American production, followed by hard red winter at 23% and soft red winter at 17%. The next slide here on exports, real quickly, hard red spring wheat. You can see from the pie chart that hard red spring wheat tends to dominate the North American exports and trade, and you can see that fairly clearly in the charts. And here you can see 40% of combined U.S. and Canadian wheat exports were hard red spring wheat for 2013, followed by hard red winter at 25%, and finally soft red winter at 15%. So kind of moving on to the next slide, just kind of taking a big picture view of our total volume and growth 2012 to current. What we're going to be looking at is a series of bar charts similar to this one, where we compare months by years side by side. So in looking at this in particular on our total volume growth, you'll notice the 2013 bars, which are there in purple, beginning to outstrip 2012, which is the light blue, as we entered our new crop month of September 2013. So you can see that year-over-year growth there, and that continued into 2014, which is indicated by the tan bars coming from the left-hand side. And during the first several months of 2014, there were numerous records broken, including some monthly volume highs for January to April. We had an all-time high total exchange open interest, as well as some others. So moving on to the next slide, this is our hard red spring wheat futures volume, and pretty much tracks the total exchange volume. And for the January to May calendar 2013 to 2014 period, year-over-year percentage increases were 86, 56, 84, 46, and 83% respectively. The next slide, we'll take a look at hard red spring wheat futures open interest, and that as well picked up in that new crop 2013 in September. Again, that 2013 purple bar, and that's been pretty steady for the past 3 months. You'll see there coming from the left side in the tan, and year-over-year percentage increases for the January to May, that calendar 2013 to calendar 2014 period. Those increases being 54, 52, 72, 88, and 86% respectively. And moving on to the option volume, 2012 to current, you'll see in mid-2013, marked growth coming into that August-September 2013 period, and it shows growth year over year right up to today. And for that January to May calendar 2013 to calendar 2014 period, for options volume, the year-over-year percentage increases were by month 116, 121, 151, 105, and 82% respectively. Taking a quick look at the next slide, being the options open interest, that has shown significant year-over-year increases during the same period, that August 2013 period to date. And for that January-May calendar 2013 to calendar 2014 period, the increases have been 149, 165, 154, 171, and 114% respectively. So, moving on to the next slide, Now that we've taken a look at where the wheats are grown and some relevant stats, and what might be some of the primary differences. Well, first off, and clearly, there's the protein content of each wheat. Hard red spring wheat contract must have 13.5% or higher protein content. For the number 2 northern spring wheat with 13 to 13.4% protein deliverable at 3% bushel discount. Hard red spring wheat is a premium milling quality wheat. And for hard red winter wheat, deliverable grades must be 11% protein or higher for the number 2 hard red winter, with a 10-cent per bushel discount for 10.5 up to 10.9% protein. And for the soft red winter wheat contract, which includes, of course, the number 2 soft red winter, it also includes the deliverable grades for the number 2 hard red winter mentioned above, as well as the number 2 dark northern spring and the number 2 northern spring at par without a protein premium. So there's the protein component. If we move on to growing season, hard red spring wheat is planted in the spring and harvested in the late summer, with September contract representing new crop delivery. In contrast, the winter wheats are planted in the fall and harvested in the spring, with the new crop contract being July. And geographically, just to kind of touch on that again, and as we've already seen, wheat is grown throughout North America, covering quite an extensive area. The variables of growing season, protein, weather, agronomy, all these can affect the interrelationships between these wheats.
Hey Joe, just to interject with a quick question here, as it relates to talking about the differing factors between the wheat varieties, how correlated is hard red spring wheat with hard red winter wheat or soft red winter wheat, and the question kind of leading here towards potential hedging or the exploration of other wheat liquidity amongst these kind of product classes. If you could speak to that, that would be awesome.
Yeah, I think the best way to put it, Loren, is while the wheats, while they are highly correlated, and you'll see some similar movements, each market does have specific unique fundamentals, protein being one of them, and they each can create opportunities for spread traders. So the quick answer is basically unique fundamentals can drive as a catalyst at times.
Awesome, that's great information. Thanks, Joe.
All right, yep, you bet. That's a very good question. And I guess, as we move on to the next slide, given the interrelationships and some of the things that we just talked about, I'd like to note here really quickly that you can trade the protein differences, maybe supply and demand, etc., using an existing inter-commodity wheat futures spread, and you can do that without lag, slippage risk, all in one click. And the spread order book and the outright order book, they write in and out to each other. And examples, as note, there might be MGX minus CME wheat or MGX minus KC wheat. So I just wanted to throw that in there before we move on to our last slide. And that slide gets into incentives for new delegates, or also can be looked at as lease seats. The program we have right now is available for the individual trader, and it is available until July 15th. What we've done is we've reduced the application fee to $300 from $1,200, and also when a 6-month lease is put in place, the exchange provides a rebate at the first trade for the first 3 months of the 6-month special rebate program. And the final 3 months provide exchange fee rebates for the balance of 2014. And if attendees are interested in learning more, please contact me. I'll always be available, and contact information is at the end of the last slide. So with that, I'd like to turn it back over to Loren.
Yeah, great. Thanks, Joe. Before I jump into my slides, I just had one question as it relates to this kind of incentivization program or the rebate program that you guys have for new traders on here. Do you guys also have some kind of a market making program as it relates to people providing liquidity as market makers to this contract?
That's a good question, and we do have programs, but we do not pay for order flow. The liquidity provider permit, which is that rebate component previously mentioned, does carry reduced fees without obligations to quote. And again, people interested could contact me for further details.
All right, great. And again, just to reiterate, we will have Joe's full contact information at the end of the presentation, so you can get that then, and we'll also update you at the end of the presentation about where you can access the program or the presentation online after the conclusion. We will be recording it and posting it to the website, and we'll have that information as well in case you miss anyone's contact information. But thanks for that, Joe. That was awesome, very insightful, and again, we're pleased to be working with you in the Minneapolis Grain Exchange on this webinar here. So as it relates to the OptionsCity, kind of connection to the hard red spring wheat contract, obviously where we come into play is being able to access and trade this product electronically via our software. As Joe mentioned, and we'll get into in a minute, obviously, we have a very intuitive front end from modeling and generating theoretical values or fair values for options to effectively price them and either make markets or trade around. That's easily done out of the box with OptionsCity Metro, our trading platform. As you can see here, we have kind of our trade sheets with our model settings, generating a skew and inevitably theoretical prices. We also have kind of a spread box down at the bottom with our hot list along the left-hand side that enables you to populate a number of spreads and keep an eye on them as they come closer to where you'd want to trade them. But through our intuitive front end, certainly you could access and trade hard red spring wheat electronically. As you can see here, the option symbol is OMW, and this is how it would look exactly on our platform. The next slide here kind of further exhibits the full access that you have to the electronic marketplace to be able to trade this contract. You can see here we have kind of our full risk position management portion of the platform that shows you your risk slides to be able to manage your position for up and down underlying movements. You can also shock volatility or have kind of a understanding of what a volatility move in addition to an underlying price move is going to do to your position so that you can effectively manage it and mitigate risk. You have your kind of simple electronic order ticket over on the left side here, overlaid on top of our what we call City Market widget within the platform, which is where you can click trade in addition to provide quote dissemination for market makers. Next slide is exhibiting our ability to price complex strategies, and as Joe mentioned in his part of the presentation, this relates to kind of the intercommodity spreads that would easily be done here within this portion of the platform, where I could have a number of the different wheat products brought into my server and being able to access them and then build intercommodity spreads. We have kind of our quick volatility adjustment tool here that enables you to adjust vol on the fly for any of the different expirations that you're trading all at once via a multiplier, a ratio, or by individual expiration by simply selecting those and then changing volatility or straddle prices accordingly. Again, our spread box down here at the bottom, the ability to quickly and intuitively populate spreads via our smart complete functionality, which enables you to simply click on strikes, at which time it would intuitively populate the various strategies that you could possibly build with a theoretical price next to that, so that you can quickly quote markets to brokers or trade around your theoretical price electronically or in the pit. Our next slide is exhibiting our ability to quote spreads or build and ask for a quote or request for quote, and also respond to requests for quotes. Before I get into that, Joe, you guys have RFQs or requests for quotes in the Hard Red Spring Wheat contract, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it'd be fair to say that RFQ functionality is routinely used, and it is responded to. So that's a good question.
Great, thanks. So you can see here within the widget that deals with what we call Exchange Request Viewer, or the RFQ market, has the ability to show you all the spreads that are being requested for quotes. Within the electronic market, you see the green respond button kind of along the right-hand side of the bottom portion of the Exchange Request Viewer slide. Simply clicking on that button enables you in OptionsCity to respond with a market around your theoretical price, asking for edge on each side. That's pre-configured by the user. So if I wanted to be, say, a dime round, my theoretical, I would just click that respond button based on those predetermined settings by the user, and it would disseminate that market of dime round, my theoretical, out to the electronic marketplace, at which time someone can interact with my response to the quote. One of the new features that we've just added to the platform in our latest version is what we call our RFQ hot list, which enables you to kind of sort the entire RFQ market. As we all know, there's quite a few spreads and strategies, or even outrights that are requested for quote. And what this enables you to do is basically sort any of those RFQs by bid or ask edge, bid or ask size, and finally last trade quantity. Those can either be sifted independently or collectively. So I could say I want to have an edge of a certain amount in addition to a bid or ask size of a certain size, in addition to a last trade quantity of a certain amount, so that those would be and statements, or I can do them independently, which is a nice feature that we've just enabled on our platform. And the last portion of the OptionsCity portion of the presentation, I just wanted to briefly kind of touch on our Freeway product, which is our algorithmic trading platform that runs side by side with Metro. Some of the features of Freeway are the ability to code algorithmic strategies in a lightweight, high speed, ultra low latency environment. We also have a great foundation or sandbox within Freeway that requires minimal code, which enables less development time and quick implementation to production. We have a nice configurable dashboard GUI that enables you to kind of customize and change settings on the fly. And we also have kind of a simulation or playback mode in addition to historical data that enables you to even back test and prepare some of these algorithms for production. And this fully integrates with Metro. And the last piece of that puzzle is our algo store, which we refer to as kind of the iTunes of algo trading. So we have a number of relationships with third-party developers that produce algorithms and then sell them on our algo store. And one of the things that we've just introduced for Metro users is what we refer to as MetroLink, which enables you to simply purchase some of these algos out of the algo store and plug them in via a Freeway directly into Metro, so that you can kind of cheaply purchase programming and algorithmic development, well-tested algos. That concludes our presentation. We'd like to open it up to any questions at this time. You can type in your question in the GoToWebinar question and answer pane, and feel free to fire those away, and we'll address them as they come in. As we're waiting for some of the questions to come in here, if there are any, want to provide you with the contact information. So this is both Joe and my contact information. Feel free to reach out to either of us as it pertains to questions specific to the Minneapolis Grain Exchange or the hard red spring wheat contract. You can certainly reach out to Joe. As it relates to OptionsCity Software, I'd be happy to answer any questions. My contact information is there. And as I mentioned previously, the recording of this webinar will be posted on OptionsCity's website, www.optioncity.com, within 48 hours. And if you'd like to receive a email copy of the presentation, you can contact our marketing manager, Sarah McNabb, at the email address listed there. That's mcnabb@optioncity.com. Don't forget the plural part of options in the email address. Doesn't look like we're getting any questions here. So with that, I think we'll wrap things up. Again, I'd like to thank everyone for attending, and it was very nice to be able to partner with the Minneapolis Grain Exchange and Joe here. Thanks everyone for their time, and thanks Joe for being a part of this.
You bet, Loren. Appreciate it, and my thanks to everyone for taking the time out of the day.